Hey everyone, do you ever feel like you're speaking projector, but the world only speaks generator? I know I have.
Yes, I swear sometimes it's as if the world simply doesn't get us, and often we don't even understand ourselves. I'm feeling that one today a little bit.
100%, but we are here to change that. So, welcome to Projectors in the Wild, where we share our personal experiences in life, parenthood, and business as a projector, doing our best to thrive in a generator world.
Hi, folks. My name is Heather Vickery. I'm a transformation coach, speaker, and author here to help you and other conscious leaders learn to lead from embodied joy. Because when joy is our set point rather than our end goal, everything changes.
And I'm Natalie Barnett, a success coach for business owners who are ready to get out of their own way and get rid of their own blocks that are holding them back.
Yes, I love it. As projectors, we're not actually here to fit in, and sometimes that can feel really uncomfortable. We are here, however, to guide and lead. And on Projectors in the Wild, Natalie and I are sharing the raw, honest truth about what it's like to be a projector in a generator's world. The good, the bad, the messy, the confusing, it's all out there.
So, if you're a projector ready to embrace your unique flow, or someone who just wants to better understand your projector friends, pull up a chair. We're about to get real, and it's going to be a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride.
What it feels like.
You went on vacation. Well, like
Yeah.
vacation, like a girl's, like a getaway for the weekend.
Yeah, it was a quick little getaway, and it was so fun. It was so needed, relaxing. And yeah, I just was able to like fill my own cup a bit and just getting some distance just out of the norm, right? Just have to get out of the norm for a little bit. It was so weird. I woke up at 4:45 this morning, like just awake. Just like,
That was me Sunday morning.
yeah, that doesn't happen. Like if I wake up at 4:45, I'm like, oh man, I'm going back to sleep. But I was like, no, I'm awake. So I just got up
Wow.
and went to the gym and got that part done, which was all good. But now I'm starting to feel that slump. I'll probably take a nap right after this.
Yes. If I were up at 4:45, yeah, this would be it.
Mhm.
2:33-ish. That's that time for you. I
Yeah.
would be all done. I started last night. We're like hitting it with all the complaints, you guys, today. Last night, out of nowhere, like 10 o'clock, I started having shooting pain up my left side of my jaw, into my ear, up in my head.
Ooh.
It's not shooting now, but it's tense. So I don't know if it's a tooth issue or
Mm.
what it is, but I haven't eaten much today because it hurts to chew.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry. That's like that. Well, tooth pain is like some of the worst because you can't like escape it. It's like right in your awareness at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, it's wild. It's
Yeah.
totally wild. Um, I love that you prioritized getting away. Like we need to we don't talk about this enough. Not only do we need the quiet time or the time for ourselves, but I find that I need a change of scenery, a change of pace. Like I need to be in a different space.
Hmm.
Is that something that yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If I think I read this, I can't even remember right now where I saw this in my human design, but like, or maybe it was my astrology, but like novelty is very important for me to get away and see new things. I think it was human design for me to like, I get inspired by seeing new things and being around, just like creatively inspired.
Yeah, well, open head centers will do
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
right? Because we can
Yeah.
be inspired by anything. So if we're exposing ourselves to new things,
Yeah.
in fact, usually it's like, oh, I need to shut down the ideas. There are too
Yeah.
many ideas. But
Yeah.
I'm also a Sagittarius, and Sagittarians are big on adventure, and I just kind of want to be out exploring. But it's interesting. I don't want to be out exploring and hustling. Like I can walk a European city for a day or two, and that's fun. But I also just want to go to these places and
Yeah.
experience existing there.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what I feel like it was part of just being a projector. Like it was, I'm trying to remember where I read this because you read different things in different
Mm-hmm.
books and different websites, but it was like, yeah, you have to. It's almost like it refreshes or renews or creates new invitations for yourself.
I love that. That tracks. I would
Yeah.
love to see the source. I mean, based on everything that I know,
Mhm.
I think that it fully tracks. And so it goes back to the statement that I read last week that I shared, which is like, hey, projector, what makes you think you have the right to be invited when you're not showing up? It falls in line with that. Like, go out
Mhm.
and be places and do things so
Yeah.
that the invitations come.
Yeah, and I think and then I didn't document while I was there. I just was
Good
there.
for you. That's
I stayed away from that. But I did take like video and photos to use later that were inspiring to me. Like I'll deal with that later. But it really did just spark, I don't know, it was creativity, yes, but also just put things into perspective of like, this is why I work, so that I can get out and do new things, adventure more. That needs to be part. I need to focus more on that. It created more of a priority on travel for me.
I love that because it's true. It's just like really, really true. That's why we choose to be entrepreneurs, is so that we can have that flexibility and that freedom. Mm.
Yeah, it's almost like I needed to show the universe that I was going to do it for. Like, if I show the universe that I'm actually doing this, it was almost like it got that message of, you're going to be able to do this more. Like, I'm not going to give you more if you're not using the freedom that you have now, you know?
I absolutely know. Like I'm going to, so we can't do did I tell you this already? We can't do our show next Monday because I'm going to be coming home from Seattle.
Okay.
I'm going to Seattle for parents weekend and family weekend. And I'm taking my 14-year-old and,
Mhm.
you know, things have been tight and they've been a little stressful. And I'm like, maybe not the most financially responsible choice, but I feel exactly the way you just said. Like, if you want more of something, you have to do it. You have to
Yeah.
create it. And it's going to work itself out. And again, it comes back to for me, a lot of the work I'm doing in my metaphysical science PhD is like everything you need already exists for you. And all change comes from growth. You have to outgrow the problem. You
Yeah.
evolve out of the problem.
Right. That's like you said, we don't solve it, we outgrow it.
Yes, the Carl Jung quote. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I feel like, okay, well then we have to be it,
Mhm.
to believe it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get to rest, you get to have a break, you get to go on trips.
Yeah. But I feel you on the financial side of it too, because I did several times like, well, yes, it's great and all, but like, I can't do this all the time. That was like my story. Like, this is expensive. Like, this is,
Yeah.
I could be spending this on something else or whatever. But you can see what your priorities are by where you put your attention and where you spend your money.
Yep.
And I want to spend my money on things like going to visit a friend and going to get massages and, staying in a hotel. Like, it wasn't like a super fancy hotel, but I had a king size bed to myself
Or
and a
project a
slow
dream.
morning. I know. And a slow morning the next morning. And
Oh,
I felt like the most abundant being just in that luxurious, you know, extra time and flow. It was amazing.
I love that. And I know that feeling, that like
Mhm.
quiet solitude, stretch out, nobody else is in your energy field space. The other thing that helps me step into that abundant energy is I travel, I fly on United.
Mhm.
I'm a United Club card member. So I get access to the club,
Mm.
which based on how packed they are, everybody gets, but I know everybody doesn't get it. And I feel so abundant when I go into the club and I get something to drink or eat there and I sit there and I work. Sometimes I'll even go early with my computer and work there because that is such an energy of abundance in that space for
I
me.
I love that. There was one time, there was a practice. I don't know. I've done so many different, like, challenges or courses or whatever. But if there was a practice of writing down things that make you feel abundant, like it can be, and they can be small things like going to, like, I love Starbucks. Like, I love it. But going to a fancy, craft kind
Yeah.
of
like a unique
cafe,
yeah,
yeah, and with cool decor and, like, sitting there and sipping your fancy coffee. That's one thing. Yeah, just spending the night, like, sleeping in a king size bed and, like, with white sheets in the hotel, and it's all dark and it's quiet. Like, little things that make you feel abundant. I think it was, like, even, like, when I get when I go grocery shopping and I have a full like, I have everything stocked back up, I feel abundant just from that, you know? And swimming in that energy more. I feel like I need to get back into that practice.
Yeah. Well, that's so much what my joy work is about.
Mhm.
The joy experiment and what we're doing in the Spark Collective is
Mhm.
so I actually have a 5-day abundance challenge. It's the same thing, but whether you call it abundance or you call it gratitude or you call it joy, it's all the same
Yeah,
high vibe energy. It's the
yeah,
thing that makes you feel fluid, and
yeah,
then you create more of it. So the more you create, the more you have, positive or negative.
right.
It is always a good idea. That's why, like, I love to, especially when things feel hard, um, to just like close my eyes and start counting things either or listing
Mhm.
things that either make me feel abundant or bring me joy or that I'm grateful for. And often they're similar things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, going for there are those days where you're like, "I just can't get out of this funk," and you haven't been outside to walk yet. I mean, I have these don't and I'm like, "I know if I get outside and just start walking,
Mhm.
I'm gonna feel a lot better." And then seeing, like, I'll name, like, okay, I see the bright, beautiful
Mhm.
leaves changing. I see like the fun decorations or whatever it is I see. And like, oh, you smell like the leaves, they have that smell when they're falling. And like, I don't know, maybe someone's doing laundry. Sometimes you can smell the laundry, and that literally does it just grounds you and brings you back into the present, because right here and right now, for the most part, we're all good. We're good. A lot of times the drama and stress is all in our head because we're thinking about the future or the past. But right here and right now,
Yep.
we're good. Unless you are not in a place that's safe. Obviously, I'm just talking
In general,
in general
all
terms.
fear lives in the future. My mentor used to say, unless a bear is chasing you in this moment, all
Yes.
fear lives in the future. So if you're in imminent, actual physical danger.
Mhm.
Um, other
Yeah.
than that, you're right. We've imagined it and then we've picked it and then we've leaned into it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And so, I mean, just like thinking of wins, just the fact that I went and I didn't, like, the thoughts would come in of like, oh, should I be buying this or should I be spending this money or whatever? But then I would be like, I would ground back into it. I'm not being extravagant. I can, you can buy yourself a coffee. It's not extravagant. It's fine.
And it's
You can buy
okay
yourself
to
some
be
food. You gotta
extravagant.
eat, right?
Like, it's okay sometimes to
um,
be extravagant as long as you're not putting your family in danger.
exactly. Yeah. And I wasn't. So um yeah, that's a huge win, just having that chance
Yeah.
to go. And then I was like, I rearranged schedule today or this week so that my Tuesdays started getting really crazy and really busy. So I just moved the work that I do outside the house to today, this morning instead. And while yes, I'm going to go take a nap after this, I don't have to then go drive
Yeah.
to deliver meals, which is going to add another. It just was, I stacked too many things. So I'm so proud of myself for like looking and moving things. And the fact that I'm like, I could just start working right after this because I have there's a lot of things on that Asana checklist. No, we're going to go lay down for like 30 minutes and just reboot.
Yes.
And I'll be able to do a little bit that's on my list and it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I'm
So,
so happy to hear you say that.
progress.
It's progress, and that renegotiating the commitments
Hmm.
is so powerful.
Hmm.
Um, and I did it last week, and you helped me do it last
Yeah.
week. So it's like showing up
Yeah.
for all of us. That was like such an interesting process for me without getting into too many intimate details with everybody. Like so this was such an interesting, and I'm curious how often stuff like this happens to you,
Mhm.
where it was a really great opportunity for me to practice what I preach. Like recognized this huge block in my life that I'm like, oh, I can track all of these other problems to this one situation, and that's causing a block. And then there were a couple days it just sort of layered where different awarenesses came up, and then it all sort of bubbled up about an hour and a half before I was supposed to do my live show on Thursday. And I was like, I am not, this is not, it wouldn't be authentic for me to do it right now because I'm in the weeds and I need to honor that time and space. And you were amazing. And we got together and we did some time techniques and NLP work that felt so freeing. And I've continued to sort of meditate on all these things and work on them and sort of feel, I think the way I described it to you was like feel little bits of the armor come off.
Yeah.
Flying
off. Like flying off.
They were flying off because the time techniques you fly in and out of your timeline, right? And or forward and backwards on it. And they were flying off. But my point is like just the gift of awareness. And this is important for everybody, but especially as projectors. So for you to say, wait, I overdid it on Tuesdays. I'm gonna reconfigure this. And also I'm not gonna feel bad about taking a nap, and everything that needs to get done will get done at some point or another. And it's so powerful for a projector to say, that's not the thing I need right now. I'm going to do something different.
Yeah.
It's powerful for everybody, but it's different as a projector, I think.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I feel like it would be, speaking of being in a generator world and how we operate so very differently, I feel like that would have been, I almost wanted to say that would have been more of a projector thing to do. I mean, generator thing to do, to push through to completion.
Yep.
And they can, because they have that defined sacral energy. However, in your opinion, should they also not push through something unless they're like super lit up and they still have that energy? But I'm talking like they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, how's it
different? I think it's a great question.
Yeah.
I think it requires a deep sense of self-awareness to say, do I have the energy to push through on this, or do I really need to create change and renegotiate? Because I think it can be both for people with a defined sacral. The gift in it for me that I think anybody can experience is nothing fell apart. I didn't do my live show. I didn't really I put it on Instagram and Facebook stories. Hey, due to personal reasons, we're pushing this week's live show to next week. Thanks for your understanding. But I didn't send an email. So the 15-minute warning still went out. And the next day I got an email from a new subscriber on my newsletter list that said, hey, Heather, I tried to watch your live show on YouTube, but it looked like it wasn't working. And I could have gone into a massive shame spiral. And I just said, oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I had to change it at the last minute. Thank you for wanting to watch. I hope you'll watch next week. And he was like, okay, cool. Great. Right. Nothing fell apart. Yeah. Nobody hated me. It was all fine.
Yes, exactly. And I almost need to bank all of those things too. Like, we do gratitude lists. All the times that I rested and things didn't fall apart. Like,
do that. That's such a great idea.
Yeah. So if you're a projector watching, try that. And as you were talking, and after I asked that question, I was like, I've almost never heard a generator. Maybe I have heard a Mani-Gen, but like a straight up generator, they're not saying, I don't think I've ever heard, and maybe I could be wrong. I obviously could be wrong. I don't think I've ever heard them say, oh, there's just too much here. Because it's all stuff I like doing, okay? And generators thrive on doing things that they love. As long as they love it and they like it, they'll keep going. I've never heard them say, oh, there's too many good things happening, or too many things happening. I better spread that out. I better move things around. So
I would agree. For a generator to feel like there's too much or they're overwhelmed, then they're saying yes to a no.
Yes.
But not if it's the things that they really want to be doing, the things that light them up. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. And Mani-Gens can have, I feel like the reason why they can have that a little bit more is just that manifester side of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have that pull to like rest or switch. and start something different, maybe.
Minds.
Yeah.
Sure. I know. It's wild. My generator, I only have one generator daughter. When you have 4 daughters, 2 projectors, a generator, and a manifesting generator.
Yeah.
And she does much better when she's busy, but the busy have to be things she wants to be doing. So like if she's in a show, she's an actress, then everything functions better for her. She eats better, her grades are better, her studying habits are better. She just does really well with a tight schedule. Whereas I'm like, even thinking about her schedule, I'm like, no. But I also heard, and I just really love this, and it was funny because they don't really like my witchy woo-woo stuff generally. So if you're watching this, darlings, I love you. They think I'm a little crazy, which is fine. They'll get there or they won't. But she said to me when she was auditioning for the last show, I've decided that I'm going to audition and whatever happens is going to be great. I'm either going to get a part or the universe is telling me it's time for rest. She used those words, the universe. And I was like,
yeah,
great. That sounds good.
That is so good. Yes. And what an awesome coincidence. I have one generator kid, like my middle child is my daughter, one of my daughters. She's a generator, a pure generator. She's an emotional though. So there's that. All 3 of my kids are emotional.
Not pures. Oh, you got a lot.
And both my husband and I are not. No, we're not emotional. So,
so their waves are fucking you up.
Yeah. But I will say, well, let me finish. I'm going to come back to that. But she's also an actor. She sings, she's in choir, she's doing, she has 2 different dance classes she takes that are kind of geared towards musical theater. And she does theater. And so she's so packed and she has straight A's and she handles it beautifully. And it would end me. It would end me. So it's amazing what they can do. But those my girls both have the quick wave that they get to that thing just pushes them over and they snap and then they come down.
Is it the wave of transformation?
I don't remember what it's called. What I learned, it was like there's like that fast wave, the quick ups and downs is what she called it.
Do they have tantrums when things don't go the way they wanted them to? I think that's the same one my daughter has.
Yeah.
It's the channel of the wave of expectations. I think
yes, when they're not met. Oh yeah, that's it. Yep. Oh yeah. So it's almost like I find that to be easier as a non-emotional to deal, because not on a visceral level can I understand, but cognitively I can understand, like, oh, when your expectations aren't met, I can understand why you would get upset by it. But just the force of it is pretty.
Well, yeah, for me, because that's what my daughter has. The gift is just like, I got to stop making it about me. I had to stop taking it personal. And I'm like, I'll go have your 20-minute tantrum and you'll be back. But also, I now do my very best to prep her with all possible outcomes and to teach her to investigate. And then also to say, and sometimes things don't go that way. So just maybe be ready for that so that it doesn't hurt them as much when they have their little tantrum.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just thought of that, like if they have that one line in their profile, investigating, like knowing all the possible outcomes would be really helpful too.
Yeah.
And I just thought of it, like with my generator, she's a 3-5. So I have to remind her, like, actually your way is to F around and find out, like, it's okay for you to try things. Things might not work out. And here's how, that's very interesting.
Like with her, one of the examples is during the midterm elections, in the past, we have canvassed for our local mayor. And what that meant was we were going around and knocking on doors and handing out flyers. But on election day, he said, hey, will you come and stand whatever the legal feet is away from the door to the polls and pass out postcards.
Right.
And I said, sure. So I said, hey, I'm going to go campaign for the mayor. Do you want to come with me? And she said, yeah, I'll come with you. And we got there and we were just standing there and she goes, this isn't what we did last time.
Yeah.
Right. So she was pissed. And I said, "You're right. It's not." I gave her a minute. I was like,
Yeah.
take time. And then she came back and she was fine. But that was my fault. Like I should have said, we're not doing what we did last time. We're doing something different so that she had all the information she needed to make an informed decision and
Yeah.
not be surprised by the outcome. Now, real life doesn't always let you do that. But as a parent, I
Right.
can do that.
Right. Yeah. I know. It's like, obviously we're gonna mess up. Like that's why we're here sharing this. We're gonna mess up. So it's just good to know and understand. Like honestly, it's like the understanding and awareness that is such a gift of knowing human design.
Yeah.
Because then you at least are not beating yourself up and you're not blaming them and wondering why, they're not handling it the way you would handle it or whatever. It's
Yeah.
such a gift.
And it also really helps channel forgiveness of self and others. Like I get to forgive myself easy. Oh, I forgot that she struggles with that. She's not mad at me. She just
Right.
needs to have this moment.
Yeah.
Or even though we shouldn't be mad at our kids for expressing emotion, sometimes we get frustrated. Like, I'm not mad at you. You're just going through your process. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
it's huge. I just finished a cute book this weekend, and a line that was in it that kept getting repeated, and I felt like I needed it was, "Grace costs nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why don't we give ourselves more of it?"
Yes. I put a poll up in my stories today. I was like, take what you need. It was grace or courage. That's just the two words that came
I
to
love
me
that.
today. Because I mean sometimes you need both. but that grace thing, people beat themselves up so much, and nothing grows from that except for
No.
more resentment, more bitterness, more frustration.
And I think that I participated in your poll, and I actually picked confidence. I thought I was going to pick grace because that's been something that's popping up for me the last few days, but then that's not what my finger did. So I'm like, okay.
Mm.
But I think we often want to have more grace with others, and we often should have more grace with others, but that you can't until you have grace with yourself. Like
Yeah.
it's based on false pretenses if you're doling it out for other people, but you won't give it to yourself.
That is good, Heather. It's so true. Yeah. It's like, I'll give them grace because I'm such a good person, not because they deserve it, right?
Mhm.
Or they're worthy of it. Because if you can't give yourself grace, then you're basically saying you're not worthy of it. So you can't extend what you won't give to yourself.
That's right.
So good.
I know.
Okay, so what do you have coming up this week?
So well, Halloween, which
Oh yeah.
we now have all bigger kids. It's the first year that my littlest one wants to just trick or treat with her friends, although she's toying with the idea. They like to trick or treat at my ex's house because that neighborhood gives out full candy bars.
Ooh, don't blame them.
But
Yeah.
she's toying with the idea of wanting to walk around my neighborhood with me and then go over there.
Mhm.
Which is fine. But we leave for my 14-year-old and I leave for Seattle on Friday morning. So I'm just trying to Empowered Breakfast, we're working on that, getting that ready and launching. One of the things so I had that big like emotional blockage breakthrough thing happen. And as I was going through all the process, and you fall into this category, and I just want you to know that all of a sudden it hit me really in a really, really big way on Friday evening. The number of people that have come out of the woodwork in the last couple of weeks and simply said, I don't want anything from you, but I want to help you succeed. So I have this thing I can offer you. Will you take it, please?
Yeah.
And I have said, yes, I will accept that. Thank you. And then I know what comes around goes around, and we'll do that. And so I've got somebody who wants to help me with Facebook ads, and I got somebody who wants to help me with some marketing stuff, and somebody who's going to help with, getting in front of corporate things. I just feel really, really grateful and really seen, which you may recall feeling unseen has been part of the problem.
Yes.
All that to say, I'm just putting all these things into play this week.
That is so good. I'm so excited for you. And I love hearing that. There's nothing better than feeling seen as a projector. Right?
Yeah.
I know it's a human need too, but projectors, kind of important. Yeah.
It's hard because we aren't conditioned to think that we are supposed to need anything from anyone else.
Yeah.
And the asking isn't particularly fun for anybody, especially a projector. So when folks say, I want to help you, I want to support you, I want to see you win.
Yeah.
Learning to be able to accept that with grace, back to grace, is lovely.
Grace. Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking when you said all like people are coming to offer assistance to you and you accepted it. That is giving yourself grace. So, which means you can now extend it to others better.
What about you? What's coming up this week?
Okay, so I've got a big behind the scenes project, just like landing pages and email funnels, and I'm doing it. Like I have a friend that's helping me, but it's me. So I really want to get that done, and so I'm hoping by the end of this week I have that done. But meanwhile, too, just like life, mom running kids around places and trying to stay in that present moment. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I get to help my friend, who's a branding photographer, with a photo shoot this weekend, which is, I love doing it. It is so fun and creative and out of my not out of my comfort zone, but out of my norm. I'm not out of my house and I get to do creative things.
Yeah.
Very much excited about that. But in order for me to show up there, I have to continue with my little mini recharges throughout the days and give myself that grace to do it. And I feel good about it. I'm excited.
Yay. I love that. I'm excited too. Well, I will miss having this conversation with you next week, but
we'll be back.
Don't worry. We're not going to let it fall apart.
No. We're just getting started.
Getting started. Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys are out there watching and you are a projector and you have thoughts or questions, hit us up, in DMs, or if you care about a projector and you want to understand them better, we're happy to help with that too.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, loves. Well, have a great week or two.
Thanks. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye.